World full of busy bees working. I ain't never met a free person. I don't get along with these earthlings. I'm trying to seek purpose, fight for something I believe's worth it. Feel the curse, I'ma reverse it. I don't dream cause I sleep nervous. Yet I keep flirting, face death like a Steve Irwin. Whole heat, I'ma drink thermos. Tell the bartender keep serving. I'm trying to be perfect, using dirty shit to clean dirt with. Only happy when the weed burning. Traded oxygen to breathe herpes. Smoke till I see curtains. Lungs fail and they cease working. Air is something that I need urgent. Suffocating, trying to squeeze words in. What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Map less, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down to my last cent. Cash back from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt, never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
I let the record show. I let the tech explode. Put up the weapon show. Pull up the Texaco. Knuckles in Mexico. Call up the technical. They know the text a blow. Shut the Plexico. Tell you the vegetable. Body electrical. Acid and alkaline. Body so flexible. The shooter's beast like a Uber Eats. Got a group of these scooter beats. But letting the Uzi Aruga speak. An American got up in Cuba eats. The powers they seek empowers the weak. They follow in creeps. Powers they be inherit the world from cowards and sheep. Bit to the mountains, top towers and peaks. Flowers and sweets and showered our feet. The lightning and thunder, the shower the sweet. Shower the D's. This not a verse, this our receipts.
What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Map less, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down to my last cent. Cash back from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt, never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
It's like a track fish. I attract women, they the bad women. I'ma splash in them, leave a bag with them. Then I raise seeds to be mad different. If I die now, I'm coming back in you. Cause they dad missing, but they cash dripping. Cause they royalty, so they brag different. Ain't no ass kissing, never had feelings. Seen a white victim and a black witness. Mac gripping on my last mission. Gat sipping, blowing blackism. Gat missing, he was lack slipping. Smack hit him, now we act different. Apparition, the bad vision. The Mac got chip him, a crash the system. Uncle Tom, cause you that willing. Fuck the law, I'm going back to living. Astral prisms of black religions. Activism to conversations. Sacrilegious to palms of Satan. Black magicians, Babylon erasing. Raise our hands to God be praising. Hustling, the marathon be racing. Nipsey at the finish line, he waiting.
What would I do with my last breath? Would I yell? Would I cry? Would I laugh? Cause I'm glad that I'm past that mess. Till I pass, never felt that blessed. Even bad breath when you living is better than good breath. When you lack flesh, got a glass chest that I cracked and my lost breath hasn't made it back yet. I'm on my last breath, walking the last step. I'm on the last test, final answer and my last guess. Wonder what I gotta pass next. I'm on my last quest, so much harder than my last track. Map less, hope I can outlast death. Grim Reaper got my address, down to my last cent. Cash back from a check I don't even have yet from my last rent. Swear that shit has got me mad stressed. I inherited my dad's debt, never got to hear his last breath. And the only reason I ain't passed yet, I'm the first ever and the last left.
All right. Stop that. All right. All right. Can you see me in the stream? Am I visible in the stream? Let me see something. Hold on, my friend. There we go. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome to another episode of Know the Ledge Media's Melanin Monday, episode 95. And you are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother RedPill. And I'm here with a very, very special episode. We're going to get it in. We're going to get it in like we never left. You know, we're going to do it real big for the homie, Black Mamba. You know, we're going to put on and represent in the way that the Scorpions usually represent. You know, I'm not sure if everybody out there may be familiar with the shenanigans, but every now and then, you know, Twin Pillars, I myself, Red and Blue, I myself, Red Pill, or my brother Blue, we pick up the mantle of, you know, eulogies in the community. We've covered many eulogies for many great people, from Michael Jackson all the way down to Prince, all the way down to James Brown, all the way down to Nipsey Hussle and Dick Gregory. I mean, if you search on YouTube, there's many shows, Dr. Sabi, where, you know, we went ahead and tapped into our scorpionic energy and sent these brothers home, you know, in the way that we feel that they should be sent home. Everybody's entitled to do what they do or send somebody home the way that they want to send them home. But let me share something with you. Well, this is Melanin Mondays. So we're going to do things the Melanin Monday way. You feel me? And the Melanin Monday way dictates that we get this man his props, you know, and we speak on some of the great things that this man, this family man, you know, this athlete, you know, this melanated role model, right? Regardless, we're not doing no Kobe slander tonight. So I will stand, you know, I will not stand for that. We will not do Kobe slander tonight. That's a fact. You had enough time to do that. The internet is a vast place. You could go all over the internet to somebody's moist broadcast or whoever may be out there slandering the GOAT, but you're never going to see that over here. All right? Before we even get the show started, let's do the obligatory roll call so we know that the whole family's in the building. So, you know, the spirit of Kobe could hear us. Well, without failing to miss a beat, Oakland is in the building, town business, right? Macon, Georgia is in the building. You know what I'm talking about? VA is in the building. Salute to VA. Mound City is in the building. You in DC, I feel you. New Orleans is in the building. New Orleans is in the building. New Orleans is in the building. Yeah, Richmond is in the building. Now, before I continue, I'm going to just show you how the Great Divine speaks in signs. Tonight's episode is also going to be the announcement for the next Fear of a Black Immortal Messiah program that we got coming up very soon too, by the way. And the reason why it's time for it to come out is because it's just that time. You know, enough things have happened to whereas we have to do an installment of Fear of a Black Immortal Messiah. We're going to do an online webinar the same way that we've been doing Into Deep series, the same way we was doing American Gods. We're going to roll out Fear of a Black Immortal Messiah. Now, let me wrap this up. The 3 states that I just called out, this is how it's worked. And I put it on the screen so it's not just me freestyling. Like Georgia, Virginia, right? DC, the DMV area, and New Orleans. I've been doing some research about the slave trade. I've been doing some research about some very important things that are going on. And I've been dealing with 1808. Okay, mark that on your calendar. Put that date, put that 1808, put that on your calendar. That is a very significant, a very important, and a very paradigm shifting year when it comes to slavery in the United States. Okay, they banned slavery from Africa around that time, and they began to focus on the slave trade in the New Orleans province, because that's when they, after they got the New Orleans territory, then they began to deal with human trafficking, the selling of bodies. But that's when the quote unquote sex farms and a whole bunch of other breeding and mating rituals were incorporated in the South. The place that they said breeded the best slaves was Virginia. Okay, Virginia was breeding the best slaves. Okay, VA was known for putting out the best slaves, and they were coming through Charleston. But the reverse slave trade is when they were taking slaves from Louisiana and shipping them up and down to Mississippi. When they were taking quote unquote indentured prisoners of war, and people are identifying as slaves, and they were not dealing with Africa. They were only shifting them throughout the Caribbean and up and down the borders of America. We're gonna get into that, but let's deal with this roll call. I'm just sharing how the ancestors is lining things up. You wouldn't know this, I would, but I'm sharing it with you. Oh, we got a bunch of people in the building tonight, so let's finish this roll call. New Mexico, Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, Cali in the building. You dig? Yeah. Cali in the building. Long Island in the building. Louisiana in the building. Yeah, the Louisiana Purchase. Mobile, Alabama in the building. Newport News in the building. I'm talking about Sacktown in the building. All right. Largo, Florida in the building. Chicago in the building. Arkansas in the building. Akron, Ohio in the building. Boston in the building. Milwaukee in the building. Louisiana in the building. Miami in the building. Cheese State in the building. Merritt Island, Florida. Fort Worth, Texas. Canada is in the building. Jersey City's in the building. New Orleans in the building. South Atlanta's in the building. Myrtle Beach is in the building. New Orleans East. You heard me? New Orleans again. You heard me? Down countries. Yeah, London is in the building. New Orleans is in the building. Central Road Capital is in the building. Yeah, the whole world is in the building. Look, for the New Orleans family, talk black to me. Jamaica's in the Timbuktu is in the building. Sacktown is in the building. Miramar, Cape Verde's in the building. Cincinnati in this thing. Harrisburg is in this thing. Michigan is in this thing. Seattle, Washington in this thing. Jamaica. Bomba Clod. Mox is in this ting. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Buffalo, tap in. Decatur in this thing. Hampton in this thing. Akron in this thing. Pensacola is in this thing. Australia's in this thing. Australia, we need to talk. We need to talk about Australia drill music. Yeah, Australia. We need to talk about Australia drill music. I've been doing my research. They got drill in Australia. They got drill music in Ireland. They have drill music in Nigeria. Okay? They got drill everywhere. And it started in Chicago. That's going to be, I'm going to cover that in the lecture that I was just telling you about that's coming up. Fear of a Black and More Messiah. Okay? Yeah, VA is in the building heavy. Yeah. So VA, that is interesting. I'm going to really dig deep into this Virginia, Louisiana connection, and by way of the Carolinas as well. But 1808. People were in the chat asking, why 1808? Oh, 1808. Go and do the research on when the quote unquote African slave trade was banned, right? The African slave trade was banned. And then we'll begin to understand what was going on, right? In the Americas, you know, when they were shifting our people throughout the Americas, but also shifting them into the islands and whatnot, and also shifting them up and down. These were tribes. You understand? These were not necessarily, quote unquote, Africans who were coming on ships, because they were beginning to circumvent that trade. They were focusing on selling human bodies in the Americas. They were moving bodies around in the Americas. I got the receipts. We got the receipts, so we could begin to show and prove, yes, that there was an African slave trade. No one is denying that. But what we also have to keep into context is that there was a slave trade of prisoners of war. There was a disruption that took place on in the lands of the rich lands, the mineral rich, the resource rich lands of America. There were excursions around these lands, and the people who were on these lands did not disappear. That's what they told us in school. And I was dumb enough to believe that shit. You know what I'm talking about? They did not disappear. They did not just go somewhere. They got their names changed. They got put into categories. They got put into quote unquote, they got made subjects, and they created fictions for these people. And they stripped them of their names, they stripped them of their tribes, they stripped them of their nationalities, they stripped them of their heritage, they stripped them of everything. And then they began to sell them, because selling human bodies back in those days was extremely prosperous. Extremely prosperous. This was what you see taking place nowadays in the form of what is known as human trafficking. Okay, human trafficking, organ harvesting, sex trafficking. All right. They just had a rally in Atlanta last week with 19 Keys, Rizza Islam, and a few other people who had to come out there and shut it down and whatnot. Shout out to Blue Pillar in the building, because the sex trafficking, the hub of sex trafficking, coincidentally, is still in the South. The hub of human trafficking is coincidentally still in the South. It never left. That pipeline, that pipeline that people think that Harriet Tubman and a bunch of white folks abolished and whatnot, that pipeline is up and running, okay? And it's alive, all right? That pipeline is running through truck stops. That pipeline is running through underground basements. You need to talk about an underground railroad. Well, they got underground dungeons right now, okay? They got underground dungeons, and they running these little children through airports, dungeons, you know, you name it. So slavery by another name, but it still remains the same. Research Atlanta child murders. We definitely need to research the Atlanta child murders, but I would go a bit further and say, give us a book to read on the Atlanta child murders, because this sanitized version of the Atlanta child murders that's being shown on Netflix and cable and whatnot, that is not the truth. That is not the unadulterated truth about the child murders. That is the whitewashed, sanitized version of what the media wants to tell you. Similar to 89 to 93% of everything that comes through the History Channel, Netflix, and everything else, they're sanitizing, they're stripping down the information, they're whitewashing the information, they're bleaching the information, and they're giving it to you in a sensationalized way, of course, but they're not giving it to you. They're not giving you the whole story. They're not giving you the gory details. They're not giving you the implicate. They're not giving you the information that will implicate people in higher places. So what you saw taking place in the Atlanta child murders, as explained by Steve Coakley and Bobby Hemmett and a few other master teachers, was a grand ritual on scales that not too many people can fathom unless they're in these fields of consciousness and they do the research where they understand that the majority of the young men's penises were basically removed via scalpels and whatnot, and they were taking the melanin from off of the phalluses of these young boys and whatnot. They were extracting the melanin via their sexual organs and things of that nature. Okay. So they filter all of these things out and they give you this CNN version of what they deem to be the not really the truth. They give you the stimuli, right? Like Blue brought that word into my psyche. The stimuli. They give you some shit to get you stimulated and talk at the water cooler. Oh, girl, did you see the Aaron Hernandez story? Did you see? You know, all of these things, but they're not really getting to the meat of the thing, the meat and potatoes of the stories. They're not. They're not in touch on Kobe right yet. I'm warming things up. We're gonna get to Kobe in a minute. We're going to go over some Kobe news. I'm not gonna necessarily get into the Kobe numerics. Shout out to Brother Blue Pill did a show earlier with Ken Bripson. Hemp circumcision. I suggest you go and check out the first episode that was done earlier today. If you have not subscribed to this channel, you already know what it is. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you could be informed of when we put videos on the channel, because it's not only Wednesdays, it's not only Mondays, it's not only Fridays, and it's not only Tuesdays. We upload videos a lot more than that, especially these days. So hence circumcision. No, it was more than a circumcision that was going on in the Atlanta child murders, my friend. Not just a circumcision where they were, no, this was some heinous shit, okay? This was some real demonic, this was, when you see what was going on, if you have the opportunity to look at the photos, the corpse photos, this was definitely rituals taking place, okay? Me and Blue Pill in the year of 2009 on Stone Mountains, all right, with Brother Ampu and a few other of our brothers, we stumbled upon a ritual, a spot where rituals were taking place, okay? We stumbled because if anybody's ever been in the top of Stone Mountain, you know that they have a fence. They have places where they say, do not enter. Well, you know that's where we went to enter. We went into those areas, we went down the hill, we went down the mountain, and we stumbled upon a ritual, a satanic ritual altar, okay? And we know you don't need to be, quote unquote, you don't even need to be woke. You don't need to be woke to what somebody said with channel. This channel is Know the Ledge Media. It's this channel that I'm talking about. You don't need to be woke to know that there's a spell. There's something demonic hovering over Atlanta right now. Okay? I love Atlanta. Atlanta's lit, right? Black Mecca, a place for melanated people to move forward in life. A very electrified place, might I add, right? That is a truth. But on the undercurrent of Atlanta, in the underpinnings of Atlanta, in the dungeons of Atlanta, the underworld of Atlanta is an extremely dark place. Okay? It is an extremely dark place. Yes, Stone Mountain is a KKK mountain. Yes, Stone Mountain is the KKK mountain. They have the quote unquote Confederates carved on the side of the mountain. It is a ritualistic, the whole mountain is an altar. You know, the quote unquote KKK, the modern day KKK, were consecrated on top of that mountain. So that just gives you, you know, for the family in Atlanta, you know, there's work to do because all of those flags have to come down. That whole, the Confederates have to get chiseled from the side of the mountain. You know, there's a spell emanating from that mountain. There was rituals done on that mountain. There were sacrifices done on that mountain. That mountain happens to be quartz. If you go and do the research, it's the most quarried rock. It's the most quarried quartz in the world, in America, or maybe in the world. All of the major buildings in Atlanta, they quarried the stone from Stone Mountain to build the court buildings and all of these things. So the ritual is in the buildings by way of the stone that they quarried off of Stone Mountain. It's a quartz. So we have a level of piezo electricity taking place that you know, them people erected some kind of energy on that mountain, and that energy needs to be disrupted. It's the largest quartz quarry in the world. Okay? No, y'all talk about the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, maybe, yeah, but nothing compares to Stone Mountain and the energy. Stone Mountain was a ritualistic mountain. If you make it to the top of the mountain and you get to do a 360 spin, you'll see that the whole of Atlanta is surrounded by there's mountains that are strategically lined up. They're all in a circle. And then when you look over Atlanta, all you're going to see is greenery. It will remind you that you're in a forest, right? There's no city when you're on top of Stone Mountain looking over it. For anybody that got to the top, you can attest. It's all greenery. It's all a forest. You know what I'm talking about? And there's Arabian Mountain, right? There's Stone Mountain. You know? Somebody said that we're the original Confederates. The Iroquois Confederation and the Creek Confederacy. Yes. Everything that you see them jacking and taking and running with, you can find the origin story. You could find one of us there. And whatever, in all of these groups somehow were usurped. All right? These groups were usurped. You got to take out. Well, I don't know about all of that. I know in order to take the flags down, the Confederate flags off of the mountain, in order to take the flags down, you would have to get into some kind of political, office. That's politics right there. That's politics. You would have to get into some kind of political office in order to force the removal of said flags forever, in order to chisel the Confederates off of the side of that mountain. And I promise you, when that is done, you will begin to see the energy shift. People don't understand about geomancy. They don't understand about geodetics. They don't understand about, it's so many things that go on energy wise. You know what I'm talking about? It's so many things that are done energy wise. The lynchings in Atlanta, most of those were rituals. Most of those were occult rituals by satanic organizations who read from the Quran. The Ku Klux Klan is a occult, satanic, mystical terror organization. Those hangings and the carving of the bodies and whatnot, the chopping of the phallus and whatnot, putting it in a mason jar, It's all hoodoo. It's all ritualistic. You got to remember, these are Europeans who came from Europe with their magic. The TV show American God attempted to show individuals who could pay attention what is going on. The Slavs brought their gods with them. The Nordics people, the Vikings, they brought their gods, Odin and things of that nature. Columbia, Thor, all of these people, the Germans brought their gods with them. The French brought their gods with them. The Irish brought Mad Sweeney and the leprechauns and all of them. And they brought their saints with them. And they brought their saints with them. So this is not by coincidence. These things are really real. And talk about the Catholics. What about them? What about them? You know, they brought their saints with them as well. They brought their saints with them as well. And the interesting thing about the Catholics that I'm going to get into in the American God series is the fight between the Catholics that's going on. And I mean a fight for the power of the people's minds and the Pentecostal church. Okay, the Pentecostal church and the Catholic church, or what is known as the evangelical church and the Catholic church overseas, Latin America, right? Overseas, Brazil, overseas, Haiti and places like that. Remember, the Pentecostal church or the quote unquote evangelical church is one of the fastest rising churches in the world. But mine like Mike Pence, mine like Bolsonaro in Brazil, like these are some crazy crackers, right? These some crazy crackers. And they have in Brazil, our brothers and sisters in the spiritual systems are under attack. Let's get right into it tonight. Let me just go ahead and start sharing these screens because I ain't gonna try to, I want to be on here all night. You know, boy got work to do. I got to study for this lecture. But, you know, tell me if you could see the screen when I pulls it up. All right. We just got to touch on this real quick, and then we're going to get into some Kobe talk. All right. This article right here is about the Ukraine. Oh my goodness. Do you know that the Ukraine, the same place that the president is being impeached, that the Ukraine was a government that got taken over by neo-Nazis in 2000 and I think it was 14? Do you know that the neo-Nazis in Ukraine were the ones who emboldened the white supremacists in America? Do you know that it was the Ukraine neo-Nazis who basically are the ones who set off this movement? They're the ones who helped get Trump into office, because when the neo-Nazis and the KKK and the alt-righters in America saw what they did in the Ukraine, they got so emboldened. And then the hackers who always are Russian, remember, you niggas get numbers from the Russian hackers, right? All you swipers out there, it's the Russians. So the Ukrainians were the ones who was like, look, we're gonna help hack the system and help get this nigga into power. So the fact that dude is being impeached for his shenanigans in the Ukraine, that's interesting. Hold on a minute, let me see something. Could y'all see that? Let me hold on. Y'all could see that? Could y'all see the screen? Can y'all see the screen? It's not Russian troll bots. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't fall for the bullshit. They're using all of these catchphrases and these. They never told you my screen is black. My screen is black. You didn't see that? You didn't see the screen that I was sharing? Yeah, the computer is slow. Yeah. Computer's slow, bro. Okay. Nah, I stopped it. That's why you can't see it now. I'm gonna share it again. Let's go. Okay, can you see that? Can you see the screen now? Okay. So yeah, we'll get to that when I do the lecture. You know, pull up for Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. You'll get this work. Okay? You'll get this work. But look. This is a picture. Right? The Spirit of God alerts his church to tricky spirits and to the devil's doctrine, said Maria Josete de Silva, a telemarketer operator and neo-Pentecostal evangelical Christian who lives in Recife. I can't allow the devil to take possession of me or anyone near me. The pastor says we can't allow our flock to sicken, to give itself the powers of evil, so we have to fight it. So they gassing up in Latin America, Latins, to go to war against Africans who are dealing with African spiritualities. Some of them call themselves Jesus drug dealers, and they create a unique identity. Commander of Rio Police Department Crimes of Intolerance Unit. They carry weapons and sell drugs, but feel entitled to forbid African influenced religions by stating that they are related to the devil. The mounting violence has horrified mainstream evangelicals. When I see these temples, I pray against it because there's a demonic influence there, said David Bledsoe, an American missionary who spent 2 decades there. But I would condemn such actions. Right? So in Brazil, they're basically burning down they're burning down shrines. They're burning down places of worship for Africans. They're burning down sacred places, okay? And in turn for, look, if I play the drums, surely the police will show up at my door. Nigga, what? So we're gonna talk about that. We're going to talk about that in the next coming lecture. That's going to be at the top of February. I think like a week from now, I'll be doing whatever part that is. But Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah is coming back for 2020. It's a lot of fear out there. This is some of the stuff that they were doing in the temples, burning the temples down, knocking the heads off of consecrated statues. It's just some bullshit. They call it teterios. Okay? A lot of racism going on around the world. Okay? So the traffickers are giving orders to close the yards. They basically ordering the people to close down their temples. These are drug traffickers who call them Jesus drug dealers. Okay? These are Jesus's drug dealers. Okay. Somebody said I did Maxwell. Yeah, funny. All right, so let's get into my guy Gobi, man. So, as we all know, yesterday was a tragic day. You know, our good brother, Kobe Bryant, you know, lost his life in an accident. It also took the life of his daughter, Gigi, a very young, beautiful, talented prodigy, because, you know, she was definitely taken after her father. You know, previous shows we spoke about the magic of the children who follow in their parents' footsteps. You know, honor thy mother and thy father so your days would be long on this earth, right? So Gigi was doing that. She was honoring her father by becoming an athlete that was going to shake up women's basketball. And I definitely know that she was going to make her father proud, because as a father to a daughter, you know, nothing makes us more proud than when our baby girl is doing something that she loves, and it's also something that we love. You know, I can't stress that enough. Along with his daughter, who perished in a copter crash, was her friends and the family of the friends, mostly all Europeans, and they were on the way to Mamba Academy. Now, Mamba Academy is a joint venture between Kobe Bryant and Nike, and basically, Kobe was coaching games. He had an academy for children who wanted to, you know, tap in and get it in. And of course, by having Kobe as a coach, you know, you have the benefit of having somebody who is a professional in the game and is very well aware of the science, not just the game, but what it takes to win. Because throughout his storied career, he was a very high velocity player, and he was also a winner. You know, he was a champion. Okay, he was a champion. He had a lot of championships. All right. This man was a high school prodigy who came out of high school. He jumped out of high school into the league. He was the number 13 draft pick in 2006, right? A booming draft where all of the legends was, you know what I mean? So he's part of that legend draft. And he rose to the top of his class, right? Right? In the midst of his career, he got into some shit, right? He caught a case, or rather he caught a charge. Okay. Was dealing with sexual misconduct. Okay. Sexual misconduct. They was accusing him of having, you know, they was accusing him of a sexual assault. Okay. And he was able to dodge that bullet. Okay. The accuser, who was a European woman, she didn't want to press charges. Okay. She backed out of pressing charges. Now, there was a civil suit, and in the civil suit, Kobe admitted that you read it, what he did. He said that consent, this is his words and not mine. he said that consent should come from both parties, of course. I mean, you know, and he was under the impression that there was consent from both parties. Now, according to medical reports and according to what the evidence showed, because men lie, women lie, right? And DNA doesn't. When examined for Kobe Bryant's semen, what came up was the semen of many other black men. Okay. Now, it was said at a hotel was being very promiscuous with multiple men. And Kobe Bryant was one of those men because of the quote unquote various amounts of semen that was found in her. So there was a level of discreditation taking place where they were like, bitch, you lying. You know what I'm talking about? You out here thotting. And, you know, you got trapped up and you out here trying to hit a lick. Right? And I guess the pressure of not being able to prove the accusation in lieu of the evidence coming back to basically paint the accuser as a non-credible accuser, right? Yeah, I mean, they out there raw. At least somebody had to be raw dogging because she had a whole daycare center inside of her. You know what I'm talking about? She had a whole D league of niggas inside of her. You know what I'm talking about? So something was going down. It was, they were on these NBA players or whoever, you know, it could have been the entourage, whatever, but people were on the road doing what people on the road do, because if the family in the chat doesn't know, all 800 of you, NBA players, the NFL All-Star, the NFL Super Bowl is in Miami next weekend, right? Now, this is just my theory. I might go out there and do a pop-up because there's some people that I need to see, right? I need to make a few appearances. Say that 65% of the women that you may encounter next week when you go to Miami for that weekend, about 59% of them are out there looking for, you know, a body or two, okay? 40% of them are trying to get down, like, you know, and get it popping. You know what I'm talking about? And 39% of them are selling that shit for $40 cash app, okay? Because that's what you see at these events, because these players, there's a strong energy of promiscuity surrounding professional players and wherever the hell they go and have these events at. Translation, if you want to get some box, like if you want to have some quick sex, go to All-Star Weekend, go to the Super Bowl weekend, and just be tall. Wear stilts, my nigga. You know, wear some tall Timbs or something and lie. You know what I'm talking about? Go to Kinko's and get an NBA card. Say that you down with Rich Paul and them niggas. Say that you the agent or something. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm here to let you know that it goes down. So if it goes down at these major events, it's definitely going down on the road. So at home, at away games, when the players hit the highway, when they're in these hotels, There's a lot of drawers dropping in these hotels. There's a lot of sex going down. There's a lot of sex being purchased. There's a lot of non-disclosure agreements being signed. There's a lot of contractual agreements. They doing contracts at them hotels when them NFL teams is in town, almost similar to a career day. You know when they be, you know what I'm saying? They out there signing a lot of paper, and a lot of papers passing through hands. It goes. So Kobe, who was married, right? I'm gonna jump into my morality bag and keep it tall for all of the married women out there. Kobe, who is a married man, committed a sin against his marriage, and he basically paid for what he committed, because if we all paid attention to what was going on in his family life, he was about to lose everything that we now know was very precious to him. Those girls and Vanessa, remember? You wasn't with him when he was shooting in the gym. He was about to lose half for the baby. Remember that? Remember Drake lyrics? Bitch, you wasn't when he was shooting in the. Remember, he was about to lose half. Okay? He was about to lose half. And he was about to be disgraced. And he went and took a negative and he turned it into a positive. What do you mean, Brother Red? Well, what he had did was he took a negative, which was a career killer, right? Especially because that wasn't in the Me Too era. If it was, we might not even be talking about Kobe in his light right now. But he went and gave his wife a ring, right? We know that money can't buy love, and we know that money can't heal wounds, but it's a good band-aid. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a gauze. It could work or it can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like a butterfly stitch. That shit might seal it up. He did what? Then he transformed into his alter ego. He picked up a new persona. He created a new alter ego, right? He created a new person. He created a new image for himself, and he called it the Black Mamba. Okay? The Black Mamba, we're familiar with the Black Mamba through Kill Bill. Quentin Tarantino, right? The assassins that were being knocked off in the movie Kill Bill, Volume 1 and 2, were quote unquote Black Mambas. And when you do, right? And when you do come across a Black Mamba, right? A Black Mamba is deadly. Okay, a Black Mamba is known to be deadly. It strikes. It has a deadly strike, right? It's basically it's basically one of the most venomous snakes in the world. Okay. It will take you out. It could take out 5 humans with one bite. So he had his killer instinct in the court. The fact that he had a drilling style, he had a hit list, a kill list for people that he wanted to take out. All right. So he utilized that killer instinct to begin his Black Mamba reign. All right. And he was able to shed skin. He was able to shed his quote unquote whatever he had that was on him. He was able to shake that off, and he was able to recreate himself into the Kobe Bryant that we all see today. Victorious Kobe, because that man was very victorious. You know, he was a he was a harsh competitor. Okay. So let's get into some things right now, because let me share something with you about Kobe that many people might not know. Kobe was very enlightened. All right. And when I say enlightened, I mean, he wasn't, you know, he wasn't average. He was very deep. And you know, we respect deepness over here.
Get alerts for the ticket price you want.
So before we begin,
there's an epidemic spreading. It can expose your lungs to acrolein, which can cause irreversible.
Before we begin, let's get everything out the way, right? Let's just get everything out the way. Let's get right to it and let him speak from his mouth, right? Let him tell you where he was mentally and where he is right now, so we don't get all caught up, and then we're going to get right back to it.
It's going down. We're here today at the Marvel Gallery for the release of Kobe's new signature shoe, the Kobe AD. There are candles on the floor. There are
Can y'all see it?
Walls, so the
All right.
setting was perfect for to ask him a couple
Listen
of
to this.
questions about life, death, and mythology. So we are sitting on top of a Mesoamerican muralist painting of a clock.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, because I feel like the setting is begging for it. What's your relationship with death?
A comfortable one.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable one. It's an understanding. You can't have life without death. Can't have life without the dark. Right. So it's an acceptance of that. When it came time to decide whether or not I should retire, mentality that all athletes face. Right. And if you combat it, you'll have always that inner struggle within yourself. You know what I mean? And comfortable one. It's a
Hold on, in case y'all did not hear this, man. Let's go back. This is like the Mamba mentality. You understand? This is what victory looks like. When you embrace death, when you embrace the inevitable, when you're able to accept the inevitable, when you're able to look forward the inevitable, man, you're on another level. So I'm gonna play that. Let's continue. What the hell is the video? I'm wilding out. They said they were on top of a Mesoamerican clock.
Hey, do you want to know why literally hundreds of thousands of investors are getting their advice from Motley Fool Stock Advice?
Shut up.
It's going down. We're here today at the Marvel Gallery for the release of Kobe's new signature shoe, the Kobe AD. There are candles on the floor. There are sugar skulls on the walls. So the setting was perfect for to ask him a couple of frank questions about life, death, and mythology. So we are sitting on top of a Mesoamerican muralist. It's like the setting is begging for it. What's your relationship with death?
a comfortable one.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable one. It's an understanding. You can't have life without death. Can't have life without the dark. Right. So it's an acceptance of that. When it came time to decide whether or not I should retire, that's really an acceptance of that mortality that all athletes face. Right. And if you combat it, you'll have always that inner struggle within yourself.
Right,
You know what I mean? And, so it's I'm comfortable with it.
I remember reading in the Wall Street Journal that you said that you've been planning this phase for as early as 3 years back. So I wanted to know, what is the most made you decide to start planning for this?
Well, the injury. When I injured my Achilles, and it became something where it's okay. This is immediate. The end of my career can be now. So since I was 21 years old and thinking, okay, I have to figure out what comes next, you never really execute. And when the injury happened, I was like, okay, no, I need to start building now, right? And that's when the turning point was for me.
Yeah. What was it turning point feel like? If you have like something that's been a part of you for 2 decades, it's kind of like a part of yourself dies, obviously. Sure. We're sitting.
Sure.
It's
exciting.
It's exciting.
It is exciting because it's the process of starting anew, right? So when I'm sitting there and I have the Achilles injury, it's one thing to sit there and try to block out the frustrations of being injured, because you're constantly tugging with that, right? As opposed to simply replacing that with a new challenge, right? Something that gets you excited. So now you're not focused on not being depressed. You're focused on the excitement of building something new. And so it was extremely exciting, man, having to figure something out and build it from the ground up.
That you now no longer have to obsess over the Russell Westbrooks and Kawhi Leonards of the world, but being that you used to get up at like 3 a.m. to shoot thousands of jump shots, what do you obsess over now?
Well, storytelling for me is the number one thing. It's writing, it's outlining, it's creating to inspire the next generation of athletes. Right? What are those things? And not from merely a documentary perspective, but from a fantasy perspective, from a mythology perspective, right? What are those stories that we can use to teach the next generation of athletes, not just about the sport, but teach them about life through sport? How do we make those connections? So I obsess over every single day.
Mythology.
Sure.
What is your favorite type of mythology? Norse mythology?
Well, I grew up studying Greek mythology at a very early age, which is kind of weird. At the age of in Italy, our class, we actually had to read the Iliad in Latin and be able to recite verses from the Iliad. You don't realize how strange that is at 10 until you come back to the States.
You're having to
And
recite.
you're like, wait, nobody knows this? This is strange.
Speak about the Iliad in a dead language.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Do you remember like any lines from it?
Well, no, absolutely not. Which was like,
I mean,
what
like,
in the world? Why?
I mean, like, I thought I'd chance the question because
But the thing that I gravitated to was the difference between Achilles and Hector, and the different philosophies that they both embodied, right? The contrasting beliefs. And who did I see? Okay, Achilles is more interesting. I think as a kid, Achilles is always more interesting.
Yeah.
He's more aggressive.
You see Troy, right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
of course.
Yeah.
But he's not bound to the limitations of others' perspective of him.
He's bound completely by results.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the execution of it, right? So those are very complex and understanding,
Of course.
but I think the sooner we can teach our kids those type of lessons in a way that's easily digestible for them, maybe not teaching them in Latin.
Detrimental.
You know what I mean? Not teaching them in Latin, but in a way that's entertaining and fun for them to process, can be great.
I have to ask this because I'm dying to know. What do you think happens after you die?
I don't know.
You know?
No, I don't know, but I'll know when I die.
It's not a question.
You know what I mean? Like it's to me, it's that simple. I don't know. We'll see.
Just see when you get there. Well, I appreciate your time.
You got it.
Thank you for answering my questions.
You got it, man.
They were exceptionally strange.
I know. How weird is that?
All right. So that was Kobe. in one of his deeper interviews, you know, that was him letting you know that he's okay, you know, mentally, spiritually, he's at peace. I'm sure nobody wants to die in a helicopter crash with their daughter. We're not saying that he planned his death. We're not saying that he orchestrated his death. We're not saying that, you know, that he wanted to die as a young man. We're saying what happened, happened. All right. And I would ask some questions to say, you know, I want to know about everybody on that goddamn plane or that helicopter, because helicopters don't just fall out the sky. Okay. Helicopters don't just fall out of the sky. Now, after the Saturn and Pluto conjuncture, right? You know, we've been seeing a lot of plane crashes. There's a plane crash in Iran. There's a plane crash in Afghanistan that just took place. There's this helicopter crash. I think I saw a video of what they're saying is the helicopter crash. Can I get a confirmation that that's accurate, that footage of the helicopter when it was going down and then you see it blow up, was that a hoax or was that the real helicopter crash? There's this thing about these videos going around where they're showing his death was predicted. Okay, this is a book that I highly recommend the family go and get, because in this book is this book we've been telling you about. This book, Dark Star Rising, where these books talk about meme magic, right? Meme magic, okay? Meme magic. That was another crash. It has trees around. Okay, so that wasn't the real crash. That was a crash in the UAE. Okay, all right, no doubt. Okay, cool. But he crashed in a wooded area, and the wooded area, you know, it was like a brush fire as a result of the crash in the wooded area. I believe it was in Calabasas, California. And they're blaming it on foggy conditions, right? They're blaming it on foggy conditions. And they're saying that it was bad weather that day in LA. Helicopter crashed as a result of an acceleration or somewhat. There's a cartoon. Somebody said, what cartoon? There's a cartoon. Let me show you the cartoon. Okay. I'm gonna share the screen. Let me just pull up the cartoon. Now, after we see this cartoon, this is a warning sign. All right. I'm gonna play something.
72 Echo X-ray, Burbank Tower, Burbank altimeter 3019, Burbank class Charlie, surface area is IFR, stay attention. November 2 Echo X-ray, hold outside Burbank class Charlie airspace. I have an aircraft going around. Echo X-ray, holding. It's going to be a little bit. I got a citation on a 9-mile final, and then the go around that I just had is going to be turning base to final in about 3 minutes. Okay. November 2 Echo X-ray, and for your planning purposes, you can expect to transition to the north side of the airport. I just spoke with Van Nuys on the line, and they've got multiple IFR departures coming off of runway 16, so you can expect to follow the 5 north and cross that way. Echo X-ray, hold on. 317 Papa Burbank Tower. You can expect a few minutes. I got a special VFR helicopter I need to get transitioning. He's been holding for about 15 minutes. South, northwest, follow the 5 freeway, maintain special VFR conditions at below 2,500.
Maintain special VFR at or below 2,500 I-5 northbound to Echo.
Number 2 Echo X-ray, Roger, and you're cleared Superman class Charlie surface area from the southeast to the northwest.
Copy that. To maintain special VFR, Captain to Echo.
X-ray for your transitioning Camarillo. Did you just want to follow the 118?
118, and then we'll look for
Transition and VFR condition.
VFR condition 1,500 to Echo.
Helicopter. Point 2 for flight following 34-2.
34-2.
So, as you can see, they were basically.
You're phone a 1200 code. Are you requesting flight following? Two Echo X-ray. What do you say intention? 2 Echo X-ray. You're still too low level for flight following at this time.
That street life. I'm in these streets because I be living that street life. She don't be a lot of people.
All right, this is
And the helicopter explodes. Here is the cartoon which shows Kobe's death. Hey man, I'm about to play this cartoon for y'all real quick, and let me know how y'all feel about this.
It's Kobe Bryant.
Help me.
Just pass me the trophies and we'll pull you out.
Pass. These were Shaq's. Yo, not only is this crazy news, but it's very, very disturbing. I really don't want to speak on it.
Yeah, this is my thing concerning these goddamn cartoons. Do not.
Oh shit! It's Kobe Bryant.
Help me.
Just pass me the trophies and we'll pull you out.
Pass.
Yeah.
These were Shaq.
This is my thing. These Seth Farlands of the world, you know, the dudes who do South Park and all of that. So, nah, like they can't be killing people in their cartoons that we know, man. Fuck that. Like, they put a lot of symbolisms in their animation, but we don't control none of that animation. Go and do the research about meme magic. Like I said, in these 2 books, it highlights what meme magic is. It's not just regular memes. It's clips like that, because a clip like that is a meme. You cannot die. You can't allow them to kill you in this matrix. Don't allow no motherfuckers to draw you dying in no cartoon if your ass ain't dead. Fuck, they won't kill you in cartoon. You know what I'm talking about? And we know how certain people felt about Kobe because of the fact that the quote unquote he got away from the system because it was a European woman who was the assailant and whatnot. So I don't trust Seth MacFarlane. I really don't trust the Robot Chicken guys. I don't trust none of them. And they love to put our people in. Look at that thing. They had them blowing up in a helicopter. He said pass. Then they have the helicopter blow up. Like, even if that's a joke, what part of a joke is that? I'm not laughing. Like, that's not funny. That is not funny. That's that fake Seth MacFarlane, fake ass bromance comedy that they be doing, where they degrade our people, and they're spirit cooking our people through comedy, through these movies, through the cartoons. But you have to always remember that these people, Seth Green is a piece of shit. Seth Green is a racist. You understand? That was the writer of the Boondocks. What was the writer of the he didn't the writer of the Boondocks wrote that corny ass show right there? I don't think the writer of the Boondocks. You know what I mean? I don't think that the writer of the Boondocks was the one that did that cartoon. But even if he did that cartoon, nigga, don't be killing nobody melanated in your cartoons unless they're a op. Fuck is you doing? You niggas is not putting Donald Trump in a helicopter or nobody. You don't do that. Boondocks or not. You don't kill people in a cartoon. A cartoon is being watched by children. They remember that shit in their subconscious mind. You know what I'm talking about? That's programming. You don't do that. Okay, if it was the writer from the Boondocks, then it was some corny shit. Aaron McGraw, that's him falling off. What are you talking about? That's him falling off. Yes, I don't like Robot Chicken. I don't like Seth Green. I didn't say that Seth Green drew that. I didn't say Seth Green did that. I said, man like Seth Green, man like Seth MacFarlane, all of them. Robot Chicken, all of them motherfuckers. South Park, all of them are pieces of shit. They're all motherfucking racist. They're smarter than a lot of these dumb niggas out here. So they say shit and do shit that goes right over your goddamn afros. You don't even know that you're being clowned. Yeah, no, they Seth Green is a voice character on Family Guy. Yeah, fuck him too. Seth Green was raping them children in Hollywood. He had a whole bunch of accusations on his ass. They was on his ass. Yeah, Matt Groening. You know what I'm talking about? Matt Groening. These people are racist. These people are pedophiles. These people are pieces of crap. Okay? I know Carl Jones. He's a good guy. He was working with Aaron McGroda. And I don't know Aaron McGroda, but I don't think he was the one who wrote that episode where Kobe died in the helicopter. You know what I mean? South Park is funny as hell. I know it's racist, but don't care. Good laughs. Yeah. You probably come from people who used to watch All in the Family. Because I used to watch Married with Children, and I laughed at it, but I didn't realize they was making fun of, you know, I wouldn't necessarily say Married with Children was making fun of us, but Married with Children and Cosby Show. Married with Children is what the first show that Fox premiered to basically combat what NBC was doing on Thursday nights with Bill Cosby. So Married with Children was the antithesis to a show that was showing us about morals, family. This trailer trash, stripped down, broken down, degenerate, dysfunctional version of, you know. Okay, yeah. So for all of the pet detectives that are in the chat room, there goes your information on a cartoon show called Legends of Chamberlain Heights. It's an American adult. I don't like Adult Swim. When Tyler, the creator, and them started doing shows for Adult Swim, I still didn't like Adult Swim because them shows wasn't really. I don't like nothing that's not helping out the overall agenda. I don't like shows that are not empowering our people. I'm impervious at this point. You know what I'm talking about? Because if it ain't for us, I could find a way that it's against us. You know what I'm talking about? So I don't see Aaron McGroda's name in there. Somebody would have to show me where did Aaron, why y'all saying Aaron McGroda wrote that. Yeah, somebody just said he wasn't the writer. Y'all mad reactionary out there. Y'all sticking up for Seth Green and shit. You know what I'm saying? Adult Swim and Comedy Central, it might be the same fucking thing, but they're trash. They're trash. This is my challenge. I challenge the artists, the artisans that are out there to fucking come together, because you're going to have to do it as a collective. Come together. All of the people who we were seeing at the Black comic books and all of that, the conventions, why don't y'all come together, put your resources together, get on some real high sedity nerd shit. You know what I mean? Get a cabin somewhere on Kanye's land in Wisconsin or Nebraska or somewhere, and come up with some cartoons. Because that's even something, when I was at the Black comic book convention, I didn't see a lot of cartoon based. I'm talking about cartoons that teenagers could watch. Well, now they make cartoons for older people, because everything on Adult Swim is for adults. So where are our Adult Swim cartoons? And I'm not talking about Mr. fucking the Cleveland Show. I'm not talking about that dumb shit that niggas be co-signing because there's nothing else out there. You just go with it and you like, oh, the PJs was lit. Oh, the you know, oh, the Clevelands, that's a funny. No, nigga, that's degrading. That's mad degrading. Oh yeah, the Kanye and Kobe commercials. I got that. Yeah. Adult Swim is on Cartoon Network. All right. Flash the books again. Meme magic, right? The thing about meme magic is that the power of the internet, right? This is from Gary Lackman, and this is from Gordon White, right? Do the screenshot thingamajigger and catch this. They're both on Amazon, and they're not that much money, right? They're not that much money. And they're going to lay out how the magic is being done on it. There's something called meme magic. There's something called chaos magic. You cannot allow your images, you cannot allow certain memes about you. You should not allow certain kind of videos and things of that nature, content that's degrading you, spread throughout the internet. Okay? So they have a way of taking situations on the internet and bringing them into the real world. Who got Moorish cartoons? We need some Moorish cartoons. Oh yeah, Dr. Toons. Yeah, Dr. Toons. I met Dr. Toons from Baltimore. He's very talented. What Dr. Toon needs about 5 to him to develop an actual series. Oh, well, God do makes black animation. Well, I need to reach out to them. Because I'll throw my hat in the ring and start getting busy. You dig? We need, but it's not just for the teenagers. What about the children who collectively can say that they're making quality animation for these babies? Who? Like, not one person. I'm not interested in individuals anymore. I'm not. That doesn't, it has its weight, but I'm looking for when people are clicking up and moving like a machine, because that's what's winning. The machines, you know, it's a machine mentality, Mamba mentality. Yes, you have a Mamba mentality that you are not going to back down, that you are not going to quote, never ever giving up. You have that mentality. You're going to go hard. The reason why we're talking about Kobe Bryant is because of the fact that he's an exceptional competitor. He's an exceptional athlete. The fact that he was, that he mastered his craft. He studied Michael Jordan, and in some ways he exceeded him. Yeah, Kobe won an Oscar. Kobe won an Oscar. Yeah, that is definitely dark magic. That's dark. And they playfully killed Jay-Z, or they playfully killed Dame Dash, or they playfully killed Kanye. You know what I'm saying? We have to demand that they take those cartoons off the air. You are not going to basically, unquote, you know, in a sense, the celebrity class. The celebrity class. You know, Google black or brown cartoons and you see the same stuff for several years. Nothing has changed and anything new. But guess what changed? The technology changed. Guess what changed? Apple came out with a $5,000 computer. No, a $50,000 computer that could do shit. Guess what's changed? Adobe Creative Suite. Guess what changed? Illustrator upgraded. Guess what changed? Procreate for the iPad. That's what changed. That's what changed. So we need cartoons because the cartoons are how you program the baby from zero. That's a cheat code right there. That's a key. That's a kilo, my guys. The cartoons are how you can create a genius. You could create an indigo. You could create a god and a goddess through animation if you can program them right from 0 to 7. Because remember, if they're sending children, there's a child that just got accepted to Mensa. Mensa is for the intellects. He's 3 years old, right? He's a 3-year-old. They got Mensas. They got children in Mensa that was like 6 and 9. They have children in college that are being homeschooled, right? At like 10 years old. How does that happen? Because the quote unquote homeschool, the parents majority of the times are homeschooling these geniuses, and they're not starting from ABCs. They're starting from trigonometry. They're starting from trigonometry all the way up. They're starting from like 10th grade and then going up with them because they understand that the children's minds are impressionable. They're tapping into a part of the child's mind that can remember shit that they forgot because they already know some of this stuff. They just forgot it. It's already, so they're pulling. Why you keep saying Nelly Fuller? They're pulling this stuff out of their minds. They're pulling stuff that's already dormant. They're speaking to them. They're sparking something inside of them. And these children are getting online, and it's almost as if they're tapping into a part of their brain that already know these things. Okay, that already know these things. So if you could tweak the information in animation, if a group of us could come together and start coming up with certain totems, animal totems, because Peppa Pig is big amongst the children, right? Peppa Pig is big amongst the children, and little children will be eating at lunch and for breakfast and shit like that because they eat bacon, they eating the eggs, you know what I'm talking about? They eating chicken McNuggets, and then they go in front of the TV and watching the same fucking animals talk to them and teach them and whatnot. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm talking about? It don't make sense. Have a goddamn apple talking to them or something. You know. Look, I'm not entertaining no LeBron killed Kobe stupid shit. I'm not. Like I said, it's mad channel. Y'all could waste your brain cells going over there and entertaining that with them. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm talking about? That's a waste of time. The hell? LeBron is doing hits on niggas because he passed them, and why did he kill him again? Because he don't want him. He already passed the nigga. What did he kill him? So Kobe doesn't come back and go back in the league and beat his score or something? Like, what? What do you for niggas to entertain that? I would have to ask, what grade of weed are you smoking, my guy? controversy. Here's a little controversy that if there were anybody who would have sabotaged Kobe Bryant or rigged a helicopter, because helicopters, like I said, they just not falling out the sky. He was flying in that helicopter every fucking weekend to go to the Mamba Academy. He said that, let me share something with you before we even get into that, because everybody's like, why did he take a helicopter? Because he lived in a fucking lap of luxury. That's why. Why are you niggas gonna call up Uber Copter when they roll that shit out? Why Uber has a helicopter service? Do you know that? And for niggas that want to stunt, that's a way to roll up on niggas and stunt. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hop out of a helicopter. Yo, why is he in? The reason that your ass was in a helicopter, if the helicopter called you and said, come outside, we're gonna take you somewhere in a helicopter, you get in a goddamn helicopter. So he wanted to be closer to his children. He said that the helicopter cut his time down, and when it was time for him to go to his games and whatnot, the helicopters was better for him, because sitting in the car, his Achilles and everything would begin to hurt. Let me read this. Kobe Bryant was no stranger to helicopter travel. So if you're trying to take somebody, you know how to take them out because you know their traveling routine, right? So it was known that he flew in helicopters. During his career with the Lakers, it was common for Kobe to travel by helicopter from his Orange County, California home to the Lakers game at Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. It helped him avoid times through LA's notorious traffic while also keeping his body fresh. It's a nice dash of glitz, a touch of showbiz that goes well with the Hollywood sign in the hazy distance. J.R. Mohnringer wrote for GQ magazine in 2010. But sexy as it might seem, Bryant says the helicopter is just another tool for maintaining his body. It's no different than his weights or his Whirlpool tubs or his custom-made Nikes. Given his broken finger, his fragile knees, his sore back and achy feet, not to mention his chronic agita, Bryant can't flowers. Bryant, his daughter Gianna, 13, and 7 others were killed in a helicopter crash in Calabasas. Yeah. So look, I just played the thing, the pilot speaking to the control tower, right? Correct? We covered those tracks so we don't have to slip into conspiracy and, become distracted and whatnot. So according to the recording, like they went or flips, right? Because look, they did say here, in 2017, Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka, who was Bryant's agent, told the Los Angeles Times a story about riding in a helicopter fly military maneuvers that shut off the engine. My life was flashing before my eyes. I almost had a heart attack. Kobe just sitting there calm and collected. On Sunday, flight records showed a helicopter deported near Santa Ana around 9 a.m. and was last seen around 9:45 near Van Nuys, about 16 miles east of Calabasas. This was Bryant's famed Mamba chopper, according to an April 2016 Getty Images photo that shows Bryant next to the helicopter, whose tail number matches that of the helicopter that crashed Sunday. It was on a helicopter flight charter business. Since January 1st, the helicopter made 42 trips, including 16 that landed at John Wayne Airport in Orange County. Okay. So John Wayne Airport. Okay. So, let's get to this He had a lawsuit because he was fighting the big farmer Van Nuys. Okay. Hold on. So he was at war with Big Pharma. Okay. Back in 2015, the pharma company High Tech Pharmaceuticals filed to trademark the name Black Mamba Hyper Rush to use to sell a line of ephedra-based diet pills. Kobe team filed to trademark his Black Mamba name 1 year after High Tech. See, there goes the stupid shit again. How the hell you niggas didn't get the fucking the patent or the trademark the minute he said this shit? What do you have a team for? This some shit that you expect Kobe to forget. How your team is gonna, you got a team. What is your team doing? Besides doing helping you do your trust, helping you do trademarks, helping you do patents, helping you with your publishing, you're supposed to be on top of that, man. But anyway, they've been battling out since 2017 after he demanded that their trademarks not be approved, fearing it will cause confusion with consumers. He argued most people connect him with Black Mamba. He even pointed to Nike using Hyper in their products, which will confuse the diet pill name. High Tech fired back to Bryant's opposition, calling him a bully and accusing him of overreaching his trademark rights to maliciously block their trademark. The battle is ongoing. Beyonce is dealing with her own battle over Blue Ivy. Yeah, they don't tell you about corporate gangsterism where these celebrities are getting their asses beat by these corporations, and these Europeans and whatnot are always washing them or taking their money and whatnot. But they want, they don't have smoke for them. So, we could draw conclusions, because what we're going to do is we're going to pay attention to what's going on. We're going to be very alert to whatever story comes out. But that's a motive. I mean, I watched enough Perry Mason, to say to myself, well, God damn it, I see a motive, I see a motive. I know that Big Pharma, and I know Big Pharma kills, first of all. You know what I mean? I know Big Pharma, they put hits out, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll get you washed up. They're one of the biggest lobbyists in the world. Big tobacco, big beef, Big Pharma. Yeah, they clean niggas up. Big oil. They're known. They put their bread. If a nigga from the hood could put a pound of Reggie on your head, imagine what Big Pharma could do for you. But we're gonna get into another thing before we leave you guys tonight, to speak of this Mamba mentality. Because Kobe had some popping business things going on. He wasn't just a basketball player. He built an extensive business empire, right? So I ain't here to watch no man's money. But one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, once again, there was a young melanated man from LA, the city of Los Angeles, Los Angeles, who was heavily invested in technology, heavily invested in, in business, right? Because I'm not going to say, oh, he was invested in the people and whatnot. He was invested in his family. I know that. I know that he was invested in his family, and That's your kingdom. You know what I'm talking about? That's your kingdom. You know, I heard a lot of Kobe slander about the fact that his wife ain't melanated. And like I said, I'm going to leave that to other people to deal with. Because, like, you know, I'm not here to persecute him based off of the fact that, you know, his high school sweetheart wasn't melanated. You know what I mean? Or wasn't as melanated, you know, because she's a Moreno. Yes, Kobe is one of the biggest brands in China. Kobe is huge in China. Kobe is an early investor on Alibaba. He got paid on their exit. All right. Let's go ahead and share some facts about Kobe that we might not have known. I'm gonna share this with y'all, and then we're gonna talk about, you know, what do we think happened to him. But once again, another brother, right, who was doing some stuff for the people and got taken out before the business could grow. Another businessman, not just a basketball player, but a businessman. Kobe Bryant built a business, an empire extending far beyond basketball. She's Italian. She's Italian, you said? Or she's a Spaniard? Wasn't he? He grew up in Italy, right? Did he find her when he was in Italy in school? Did he find Vanessa in school? You know? All right. In the twilight of Kobe Bryant's career with the Lakers, the 18-time All-Star shared a vision with billionaire Chris Sacca. When his time in basketball ended, he would become an investor. To the shock of a couple other people sitting with us, I replied, "Kobe, I'm sorry, but I just don't take you that serious," Sacca recalled in an email to the Times. He laughed, then said, "What would change that?" Sacca gave Bryant a list of books, videos, TED Talks, and podcasts to study about startups and investings, figuring that would be the end of it, right? So you see these billionaire Europeans that hang out with these basketball players who, they're funny according to the rich people. They're funny Negroes, They're nice to be around because they give us our street cred, We like kicking it with the niggas because, he met his whiz on a music video set. Remember, he had bars. He was rapping, right? He met at a Snoop house party, Okay, she's Mexican. All right. Now it's a barbecue. All right. Okay. Hispanics are not the same as European Spaniards. Learn your history. We know that. We know that. Was she a European Spaniard or is she a Mexican? Let me know. You know what I mean? Let me know. Kobe spoke 5 different languages. Kobe spoke 5 different languages. You're dealing with an intellect. Like Blue Pill said, we could be more Kobe-esque in our ways and the things that we do. Okay? She's Mexican, Italian, and Mexican, and Pine, Moro. Yeah. And then somebody says she's white. Okay. We could claim. She was engaged at the time. Okay. Like I said, y'all could do that for the Lifetime story special. All right. I'm just saying that she wasn't with him when he was shooting in the gym. She gave that man 4 daughters. She stood by him during his charge, right? And it is what it is. So this story that I'm reading right here they had a billionaire who Kobe shared a vision with a billionaire by the name of Chris Sacca, a billionaire. Kobe said, when I end basketball, I want to become an investor. The billionaire thought he was a joke because niggas are not to become investors. That's just something that Negroes don't do. So he gave him all of this information to throw him off. All right. For all of my NBA players or NFL players listening to this, yeah, they take you for a fucking joke. They laugh at you niggas. You know what I mean? When you leave the room, they giggle at you. The only way that you're going to beat them is at their game. You're not going to beat them by snatching their women up on some Donald Sterling shit because they bought those women. They don't need them. There's a whole bunch of other women. You're not scoring no points by sleeping with their women. You know what I'm talking about? You have to take their businesses. You have to close their, if you're going to go to war with them, you got to shut their businesses. That's the only thing that you could do to play chess or to fence with these motherfuckers. You got to shut them down because business is warfare. They already made $1 billion off of your ball playing, pigskin ball running ass, and you got a few million out of the deal. So they already won up on you. So of course they will get super nervous when niggas get together on some Rock Nation brunch type shit or some Puff Daddy at the motherfucking the pre Grammy Awards dinner and grab their nuts and start talking shit about coming together, put their money together and challenging these white boys. That's what they fear. They are shaking in their boots when niggas get together and start talking like that. Anything else is uncivilized. Anything else is to be laughed at. Even I'm laughing at you niggas on anything else. There's nothing else to do. You don't want no smoke. You can't get physical. That conversation is right out of the window. We're not even going to entertain that. So the only conversation worth having is anytime our brothers and sisters in the entertainment athletic business decide to conglomerize, privatize, and basically go against and begin to challenge Nike and begin to challenge Adidas with their own brands and begin to challenge whatever fucking brand that you niggas is out here, bobbing for apples for. That's the only thing that I could understand that would be worth, that's the only thing they scared of. You know what I'm talking about? So let's continue. The relentless work ethic that propelled Bryant's 20 years in the NBA also helped drive his transformation into a business mogul, author, and Oscar-winning filmmaker. Bryant, who died Sunday with 8 other people, he built a wide-ranging empire that includes a venture capital fund, multimedia production company, athletic training centers, and books. What he was aspiring to do was great because he wasn't just going to be slapping his name on things for vanity. That's a shot to Magic Johnson. He was trying to do everything with a purpose. It was just like how he played. He had a plan, philosophy, and purpose around everything that he did. In 2013, Bryant quietly co-founded a venture capital fund with entrepreneur Jeff Steibel to invest in media and tech companies. They unveiled Bryant, Steibel and Company in 2016, months after Bryant played his last game as a Laker. Its high-profile investments have included legal service company LegalZoom and Epic Games, the maker of smash hit Fortnite, as well as Misfire Juicero, whose Wi-Fi compatible juicer was ultimately laughed out of business. By September 2019, the firm reportedly managed more than $2 billion in capital. Okay. Meanwhile, Bryant was investing on another front as well. In 2014, he announced he formed Kobe Inc., based in Newport Beach, with plans to develop brands that will upend the sports industry. The first investment through the new company was sports drink Body Armor. That initial $6 million investment grew to a value of $200 million after Coca-Cola acquired a minority stake in 2018. So a $6 million investment grew to $200 million. That's $194 million. Going into the first meeting, I didn't know anything about his work ethic. Had I wouldn't have been surprised by how hard he worked to understand the world of entrepreneurship and investing. And a hint of the diverse business ventures to come, Brian partnered with Alibaba, the Chinese online retail giant, in 2015 to collaborate on a social media platform. Kobe branded products and the release of his Showtime documentary Muse. Bryant served as an executive producer on a film, which provided an inside look at his journey from childhood to the NBA. Bryant founded Kobe Studios in early 2013 to lead his Hollywood efforts, later renamed multimedia production company, has pursued podcasts, book, television, and film projects with an eye for stories that its website says pairs education and inspiration. I love storytelling, Brian said in late 2015. I love framing stories that inspired. I love educating in a very creative way. I love putting pieces of the puzzles together. Okay. So Bryant found success outside of Hollywood as well. He co-founded the Mamba Sports Academy, located in Thousand Oaks and Redondo Beach in 2018. The business, which bills itself as a full circle facility designed to update the way men, women, and players from the NBA and WNBA offered football strength and conditioning, Brazilian jiu-jitsu tournaments, volleyball camps, sports performance conference. He also found time to write the book, The Mamba Mentality, using the nickname he gave himself during his basketball career. He was released in late 2018. It offered a deep dive inside the mind of Bryant, a book that I ordered that earlier. Last year, Granity published Legacy and the Queen, a young adult novel based on a story concept by Bryant about a tennis-playing girl who goes into a magical adventure. He also created the kids podcast, The Punies, focused on children who play sports together and learn life lessons along the way. So the way that you honor Kobe, this is how you honor Kobe. You understand? This is how you do it. You honor him by getting in touch with his production company and continuing his work. That's the only way that you can honor him, is by edifying the work that he went out to do. So here you go. Once again, you have another Nipsey-like figure in our community in Los Angeles, the same place where Nipsey died 10 months. You understand? And he was doing big things. He was in his bag majorly, like Conscious One just said. He was in his motherfucking bag. If that's not in his bag, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. See, these are the kind of people that I need to meet in life. These are the kind of people that I need to sit down and have a Rock Nation brunch with. These are the kind of creators that I need to have 10 minutes or elevator pitch with. I need a Shark Tank with these kind of guys, because these brothers are the influencers. These are the investors. This is the missing key. This is the bridge that can help cross over millions of people into, you know, a different level in life. Imagine if I was able to sit down with Kobe Bryant and tell him what's on my agenda, or what's on my plate, or some of the projects that I'm working on and fleshing out. That's a marriage made in investor heaven. But now the man is not here with us to sit down and talk to Nipsey. I was excited to sit down and chop it up with Nipsey. I was excited to sit down and talk to Nick Cannon. You know? Look how precious. Look at time and how it don't exist. And how there is no, oh, I'll get up with these niggas later. That don't exist right now. I don't even know what you're talking about. That don't exist. You don't have time like that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't time like that. We got work to do. Motherfuckers keep putting shit off. We don't got time for that. It's work to be done, bro. You know? I ordered that book. I'm going to get into this book. I'm going to dive into this book because that man was an intellect, and I'm into intellects. I like to tap the minds. I like to get into the minds of my intellectual brothers and sisters. You know what I'm talking about? That man is good in my books. You know, he good in my books. You know, so the people who don't like us, the people who don't want to see us grow, they don't want to see us as investors, they don't want to see us as their competition, they're having a field day over this. This is a W for them. You understand? Especially when they go into his business portfolio. Oh, this nigga was trying to do documentaries and books. Oh, this nigga was trying to do movies. He's trying to compete with us. Oh, nah. I'm glad that he ain't. Now Rock Nation brunch that's talking greasy. You know what I'm talking about? All of these niggas in mauve suits talking greasy, you know, acting like they want some of this smoke with the gay mafia or with the Weinsteins and the Epsteins and the Clintons and all of these other people who run the motherfucking show, who gonna tell you niggas stay in your place, the Clive Davises and them. You did? Because they're intimidated. That's the only smoke that got them coughing. That's the only smoke that got these old white niggas adjusting their toupee, is when they see some rambunctious niggas in face tats pulling up in phantoms and rapes. You know what I'm saying? With Jay-Z stepping out in a morph suit, nigga, they're scared of that. That's the only thing that they're intimidated by. But they're cool because all them niggas is on contract. They know that all them niggas is on contract. They could hit up Kevin Hart's agent and tell him, yo, tell that nigga stop talking crazy like that. You know what I'm talking about? Tell him stop talking crazy. Somebody said that they're low-key sellouts, but they are investors. They could be all sellout they want, but once opportunity, they have the liquid resources, they have the influence to make something happen. They could be angel investors, they can be lean investors, they can be shadow investors. They don't have to be on niggas. That's not what this is about. The minute you take a picture with a nigga who's a quote-unquote Billy Goat or millionaire, you fuck the bag up anyway. You're supposed to keep that clandestine. I would never, if I was at the Rock Nation, niggas is, well, I don't know. I might take a picture with Solange. But I ain't gonna be, no, you gotta be this shit. You can't put your moves on Front Street like that. But no, they want these niggas to die with their money. Because remember, they are contracted slaves in a sense. They are house niggas in a sense. But they always feared when a house nigga would mingle with a nigga behind the tree in the field. They would always fear the fact that a house nigga would slip through the back and start talking to a nigga in the field and that nigga would, and he would try to put that nigga from the field on and give him some motherfucking supplies to get off of the plantation in it of itself. So they don't want nobody of influence, an influence where a person such as myself, they don't want a person such as myself in a room with those influencers, because self is going to influence the influencers. And once that happens, once you influence somebody, you could create a chain reaction that could cause a nuclear reaction. That's facts. There's nothing that, you know, there's certain things that they can control, but there's certain things they can't control. So we always have to keep that in mind. We always have to keep that in mind, that the more that we are losing brothers like a Kobe, like a Nipsey, Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, James Brown, all of these people, they was influencers. And these people could have helped they could have helped our people do something. You know what I'm saying? With some of that influence or some of those resources, I'm not saying that you niggas is gonna be the ones just running around with a, you know, you're gonna set it off on the small hats, because that's not. People is like, yo, what did Kobe Bryant do for black people? Nigga, that's not his lane. And we're gonna talk about that, what Kobe said, that he wanted to die young, because all you niggas got a choice. Everybody got a fucking choice. Do you want to be immortalized or not? Because you do have a choice. You could die young like James Dean. That's a Los Angeles mentality. A lot of niggas carry that. And I could understand it. And at the end of the day, it's a question that you have to ask yourself, because we all have the abilities to immortalize ourselves. You don't have to wait till you 100. To be honest with you, I'm fighting that. I'm fighting the mortality of that to this day. I'm fighting the mentality of that to this day. Do I want to be shitting on myself? You know what I mean? Wearing Depends, you know what I mean? And Geritol on you niggas. Or do I want to make my exit at the top of my game? Because you become immortalized. They could put no more dirt on you after you leave. Tupac, legendary, immortalized at 25. Biggie Smalls, Hall of Fame, 2020, going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, immortalized. He started out with Party and Bullshit in 92. He died what year? 97. 5, and he was out of here to be an immortal forever. He probably didn't. He didn't sign a contract before he came here to be here for 50 years. He said, "I'm gonna just stick around for 5. I'm gonna light that bitch up, and I'm gonna." On March 9th, 2007, you could go and do the research, because the European cult called Eternal Wake, they committed suicide to get on the Haley Bop comet at the same time, March 9th. You know what I'm talking about? They committed suicide to get on the Haley Bop assassin when Christopher Wallace made transition. So you could make the decision, like they said with James Dean, you died looking young, you died with a good looking face, nigga. You died without wrinkles, you died without dentures, you died without gray hairs. You know what I'm saying? You die as a, but you immortalize yourself. You just don't die, my nigga. You just don't die. You don't commit suicide, because they're not gonna honor you. That's not how you become an immortal. Kurt Cobain, immortalized. but they were kind of like, you know, those were overdoses. So it's a little different. Eazy-E is a little different. You know, Brandon Lee is still a little different. There's a way to be immortalized. There's a way to be immortalized. Look at what somebody wrote. I think they said Vanessa's African. What Jay-Z said, dying young, leaving a good-looking corpse. I solemnly swear. Change my approach. Stop slanging dope. Aaliyah is immortalized. Okay? See, it, you know, deaths, you know, they're tricky and whatnot. The death thing is tricky. That's why you got to study the death codes. Bruce Lee definitely immortalized. Capital Steve's immortalized. Dying young, leaving a good-looking corpse. Juice WRLD immortalized, even though he overdosed. Even though he even though he overdosed. Extentacion, nigga, immortalized. Big L, Big Pun, immortalized. Serena, immortalized. These people are immortalized. You know what I'm saying? Even if Jay-Z died at 50, immortalized. Still looking, it's still a good looking corpse. Right? King Tut. Well, it's the, I call it the King Tut crisis. You know what I mean? It's the King Tut curse. You know, they say the good die young. Well, it's a lot of young ones. It's a lot of people that are dying in their younger age. They have the 27 club, right? Now they have the 20-year-old club. Okay? You know, and all of these things and whatnot. And this guy is he saying dying young like it's a good thing. This guy is saying that dying young is the inevitable. That's what this guy is saying. This guy is saying that people die young. That's what this guy is saying. That shit happens, that yeah, people do die young. That's what this guy is saying. And this guy is also saying, if you study any of the quote unquote high civilizations, the minute that they was born, they was preparing for death. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the great inevitable that Thanos talked about is the fact that all of us have a date. That's the great inevitable. And the great inevitable is that all of us have a date. There's a date that none of us are going to dodge. That's the great inevitable. That's the fucking reality of this planet this plane of existence that we're on. So in this plane of existence that we're living on, right? In this plane of existence that we're living on, nobody's going to leave here and people is like, oh, I'm glad that he left. He didn't have anything to contribute. No, motherfucker. If you die young, you die before you even was able to contribute what it is that you really had to contribute to the world. But in these rare cases of people who will be considered anomalies, who died at 33, who died at 27, who died at 25, who died at 24, who died at 41. Some of these people have accomplished great things in their lives that could be considered deeds that can immortalize the brothers and sisters who decide that they want to die young. That's what I'm saying. And what I'm saying as well, Bob Marley. How is it that how can I go through so many names of legends? I'm giving you legends. They both died young. Malcolm X and MLK. I'm giving you legends. Tupac embraced death. I just played you the video where Kobe Bryant embraced death. I didn't say that he wanted to die. I didn't say that he rigged the plane. I said that he was comfortable with death based off of something that he must have knew, based off of something that he must have learned, based off of something that he must have had to research and study, because that's not a Christian nigga talking. You Bible toting ass niggas, that's not a Christian nigga talking. The niggas is running around crossed up. They don't talk like that. Fuck is you talking about? They don't talk like that. They're anchored in fear. Oh, I might go to the, I just might go to, I don't know. I might go to hell with the bad people. I didn't do my taxes. Niggas is anchored in fear. They don't have any understanding whatsoever of death. Look at this. Little Richard is still living. He's a legend. I take pride in saying that I have one of the smartest chat rooms on Know the Ledge. You know what I'm talking about? I take pride in saying that we have one of the most smartest, you know, quality of memberships. So I'm just going to hold my tongue and let that shit slide. You know what I mean? I'm not even going to feed into that, you know. But the conversation, once again, that we're having right now, it's a private conversation. But silly me, I like to take private conversations into the public, and I pay for that sometimes because everything is not for the public. I'm not supposed to be talking about death in a comfortable way on YouTube with niggas is Christianized, because that becomes spooky and whatnot. That's some shit the niggas don't want to face. They don't want to have these conversations because they're not mentally prepared for shit like that. So once again, here we go, having private conversations in the public, and I get it. You know what I mean? I'm aware of that, you know, but just know that it's real. You know, there's a concept that's at play where some of our people want to master this life, and the way to master this life is also to master the death. You know what I'm saying? You might get it later on in life, or you may never get it. That's not really my job. I don't get paid to help you get it. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to speak my truth and keep it moving. So, you know, it's all good. But yeah, do the research and do the knowledge that if that's what he was talking to Tracy McGrady about, who are we to judge him? He had an overstanding and an understanding. He was at peace with something. Brother Rich had asked me in an interview what my definition of being at peace with. My definition of being at peace is knowing that if I don't wake up, knowing that if I don't make it home tomorrow night, that the contribution that I was able to give the world, you know what I mean, with as little resources that I had, which as little much of support that I had, which is little much as encouragement from, you know, people who was around, that I still made it happen. And that I still manifested, and I still carried on the tradition in my mother and in my father's name. You know what I mean? That's all. And I know that it'll count for something. I don't need no statue. You know what I'm talking about? I just need you niggas to not give me no red pill slander, you know. And when you see my little ones, when you see my seeds, yeah, hold them down. That's all I ask. The same way that I was holding yours down. And that's it, you know. And that's my peace. That's being at peace. Being at peace knowing that every day I'm not putting in no work. The work that I'm putting in is not for today. You know what I'm talking about? The work that I'm putting, when they write about us, it's for my children's children. It's not for right now. It's not going to be accepted. It's not going to be appreciated. It's not going to be valued. They're not going to put a value on me right now, and I'm cool with that. That's being at peace. And just, I'm going to keep cooking, nigga, and walls as I could kick down and snatch as many fucking toupees as I can, snatch wigs and do all of the shit that niggas like me that's lit usually do. You know what I mean? As long as I'm still drippy, I'm good. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm gonna just keep working. That's being at peace. So I feel Kobe was at peace. I don't have to speculate. He said it out his mouth. He said it out his mouth. So I'm at peace. I could light a candle and I could talk to Kobe tonight because I know that him and Gianna are in, you know, I can't say that they're in better places because, you know, when I ritualistically died and whatnot, when my ego died and I saw what is called the light, look at this shirt right here. What does it say? Near-death experience, right? Near-death experience. Okay? If you never had a near-death experience, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But the light is a healing light. The light that niggas talk about, that light is what you niggas call God. It's an energy. It's not even a light. And you know what that light is composed of? Love. So when you walk to the light, all you're going to feel is love because the universe is composed of love. There's two energies, love and hate. And you don't want to feel hate because I feel hate when I walk in these streets. I feel highway, nigga. I feel hate in the airport, at the motherfucking, at the bus stop. You know what I mean? I feel hate everywhere, but I also feel love. And I know that the love is a supreme energy. It's stronger than the hate. And I know that that light feels what love, it feels when you walk and when you envelope, when you clothe yourself in that light is going to be all love. And you're going to be absorbed back into the energy of love. So I don't have a fear of when my eyes close and my spirit leaves my husk. You should come to terms with that because you niggas all got a date and that's the great inevitable. And, you know, it's 2020. Niggas got coronaviruses and shit like that. Like, you niggas need to prepare for the inevitable because it's going to catch everybody. I mean, yeah, 100 millionaires don't die by accident, you know. 100 engineers, they don't, but so, you know, do your due diligence, pet detectives, get active. You know what I mean? We got to figure this one out, right? Because we was trying to figure out Nipsey's, and he leads on that. You know, and he leads on a Nipsey investigation. But I know some people need to get out there in the city of angels and start asking questions because too many people dying in Los Angeles for my take. But yeah, man. Yeah, what happened to the Zika virus and the bird flu and the avian flu? Whatever happened to that shit? And Ebola? Now you want to hit me with the coronavirus? I was supposed to go to China. I'm a little tight about that whole corona shit because we had China on the menu. We had China on the menu, right? So now we got to wait this shit out. You know what I mean? I'm not going nowhere around no Asians right now. No offense to my Mandarins in the chat room, but you niggas is out here eating bats and squids and whatnot. I had a disposition towards you after I started watching your food videos on YouTube, but now y'all done took this shit to another level. Niggas is eating bats. So I'm banning, you being banned from, I'm banning my body from even going to your country right now until until you answer why you niggas is eating bats. The hell is going on, bro? Them shits don't even look good. The bat looked like a dry tire, and it was sitting in a plate. The shit like, you know, when tires be on a highway, when it be a piece of the tire, the shit like a piece of tire. I would never tongue kiss Chun-Li. The hell? Niggas is out here eating bats. Then I seen some chick from Japan eat some shit. The shit looked like the motherfucking worm from the Dune movie. You know what I mean? You niggas is out here kissing Chinese chicks? Yeah, okay. I don't know what's going on in these streets. But yeah. Let me share some messages, man, because we got some shows coming up. Facts 2020. We are going to be in the building. All right. Facts 2020 is going to be popping on the 20th, right? I mean, on the 22nd of February, that's right around the corner in Connecticut. That's also going to be live streamed. So hit me up. I'll have the information for the live stream coming up real soon. Okay. I'm going to be in the building with the Moors. Shout out to the Moors. Islam to my Moors. I'm going to be with Baba Taj Tariq Bey. We're going to do some promo for this coming up soon. I'm going to be in North Carolina for Juneteenth weekend. And on March 21st in Lancaster at the Harvest Executive Banquet Center, 1801 Lancaster Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware. They're going to have the Moorish Summit. The Moorish Summit. All right. I'm going to write that real quick. Give me a minute, y'all. The Moorish Summit is coming up March 21st. My brother Taj Tariq Bey, master teacher, he'll be there. I'll be there. All right. And we're going to have some fun time. I'm doing a metaphysics segment. Let me write it real quick. I'm going to be doing a metaphysical. I need y'all to be there. This is going to be in Delaware. So all of my Philly family, my Delaware family, I need y'all in the building. This is going to be big. I'm going to be doing metaphysics for the family. I have a flyer for this by next week. I got family from Delaware that was in the building earlier. I need y'all to be there. No, Wilmington. Yeah, Wilmington. And also for Juneteenth, I'm gonna be in the bill. I'm gonna be in the Carolinas. You know what I'm saying? Juneteenth. I will be in North Carolina for that ass. So I need y'all to be in the building. By Thursday, we'll have flyers for both of them. Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah 2020, Year of Fear. This is the year of fear. All right. Just based off of the way that 2020 with bombings in Iran and all of this fear when they was out here in Brooklyn marching against quote unquote anti-Semitic violence. Fuck is you talking about? There ain't no such thing as that. But anyway, that's coming up first weekend of February. That I have an Eventbrite link in the description box of this video, or you could send $20 to the Cash App. We keep it very simple. You know what I'm saying? send $20 to the Cash Appington. All right. Send a dub, and we'll send your email. Very important. Have to send your email. All of my Patreons, you will get your free ticket. You don't have to buy a ticket. All of my Patreons, of course, the ones that go 20 and up, you're good. You're going to be a free guest. No, the ones that's 10 and up, I'm going to give y'all a treat. My 10 and up Patreons, you're going to be in the building for free. Everybody else, it's a Dubbington. You know, all right? This is going to be 3 hours long, all visuals, just following up and giving you some information about 2020. Because, look, these people is out here playing. They out here plotting and planning, and they out here making moves. So it's time that we make our moves. Yes, and check me out on Black Ice TV. There's a new video up. I know everybody heard about our trip to the United Kingdoms in October. The brother has a video up where we're at the Parliament. We have a 1 hour speech at Parliament. We made history in Parliament. Okay. We were speaking to Queen Diambi of the Congo, and we were also speaking with some luminaries. Nana Yao, Infudishi, the master teacher from New York, he was there, and there was a bunch of other people. So check out Black Ice TV on YouTube. Black Ice TV on YouTube. That video is powerful. Go and check it out. And it's in HD. It look real good. Illinois got a case of the coronavirus. Well, y'all need to ship whoever the fuck got that virus up out of there. And also, starting next week, we're going to be doing promo. So if I have brands that are out there who want to show their brands, hit me up. We're going to be putting brands out there. All right. So, you know, hit us up. We're going to be doing promo in the beginning and the end of our of these videos, you know. So hit me up for some prices. Let's do business. You know, let me promote your brand, especially if you have a lit brand, like, you know, clothing, anything dealing with the lifestyle. You know, if it's like twerking contests, I'm going to have to, you know, we're going to have to get on the phone and work that out. But anything dealing with the lifestyle, health, wealth, knowledge of self, anything dealing with consciousness, anything dealing with enlightenment, upliftment, I'm your man. So hit me up. And with that being said, check Blue Pill out tomorrow for Tough Talk Tuesday. Keep that Mamba mentality. The Mamba mentality is Negu, never ever giving up. Push yourself. You know, don't put limits on yourself. You know, don't put limits on yourself. Kobe was Kobe as a competitive player because that man was a athlete bar none. He played no games. Crumb TV, yeah, I'll pull up. Send me a link. I'll pull up. You know. So let's build. All right. With that being said, love and light to the family. Y'all stay blessed or blissed up. Y'all stay glowed up. Y'all stay prayed up or affirmed up. Not even prayed up, affirmed up. And go and look at the previous episodes, the one with Ross Ben. He explains what's going on with Saturn and Pluto while we're seeing this death of this man and his daughter. Planes falling out the sky. It's all in the stars, but it's all in previous episodes. So go and check out Ross Ben's show. Go and check out the Dr. Phil Valentine show. For our special episode of Know the Ledge Radio 2020 on Wednesday, we have a special guest. I'm not going to say who it is right now. Just pull up, okay? Because if anything has shown you, all of the Know the Ledge Radio episodes have been classics. So come and be a part of history, and I'll see you on Wednesday. All right. Peace.